Imagine you are visiting Africa in a safari through the lowland tropical forest of deepest sub-Saharan Congo. You are a master kid explorer and have been commissioned to study the fauna of the mysterious and wild Congo Basin. You venture off the trail and start making your way for hours through the dense vegetation. It begins to rain, but that doesn't scare you. It begins to get dark, but that doesn't scare you either. You push on and discover the most magnificent waterfall thundering in the forest and decide to make camp right there on a clearing of the trees by the water. A campfire is crackling. Marshmallows are toasting. Suddenly, a small shadow whizzes by. Some kind of bulky creature running through the bush. You follow it. What is it? A wild boar? Armadillo? A leopard? It's nowhere to be seen, but that doesn't break your patience as you crouch, alert, listening to the sounds, scanning the forest, and wait for it. On all fours, knees on the ground, elbows on the ground, you crawl through the bushes to get a better look without making a sound. Then you see it right there, a dark, curious creature looking your way. It appears to be something like a human child, but its feet are too big. Its shoulders are broad and muscular, and just like you are doing right now, it walks on all fours. Feet on the mud, big knuckles on the mud at the end of its long, heavy arms, and walking straight at you. Alert! It saw you, and now it's picking up speed. You prepare for the encounter. Then, boom! A second creature tackles it to the ground. They roll around the muddy forest, making the most peculiar grunting sounds. Then, another comes and joins the ruffle. They climb on one another, grabbing arms and legs and pinning down bodies like professional wrestlers. Then one more comes around, but slowly. A bigger creature. No, a giant creature. It grabs one of them by the leg and puts it on its giant shoulder, walks away, sits down, and gives the little guy a banana. Another big one comes and does the same thing to the second cub. Then a third. You are so excited, you grab your camera and begin to take pictures of this family of forest giants and their children, grooming each other, feeding each other fruits and roots and bugs. Those big wrinkled noses and deep, pondering eyes have captured your heart and your imagination as you pull out your journal and begin to write. Gorillas in the Congo. You can't wait to get home and tell everybody all about them. Maybe even make some art inspired by this troop of forest dwellers. What will it be? How about a sculpture? A clay sculpture? When you finally arrive home, you unpack your clay kit and you get your workspace ready for a clay-tastic adventure. These are your materials, O brave explorer. Let us begin. Mix some light brown and yellow clay for the gorilla's face, arms, legs, and belly. To mix, roll the clay into sticks, place them side by side, and roll them together. Then twirl them around each other and roll them into a ball. Repeat the process until the colors are thoroughly mixed. Place the skin color aside and get enough brown to cover the body of your gorilla. Mix it with a little bit of black and red clay. Mix these three colors in the same way as you mixed the other two colors. With this dark brown, begin by making it flat using a rolling pin or similar object. Cover the entire foil structure with small patches of brown clay. Take your time to shape the gorilla's body and to smooth the clay using your fingers so that its coat becomes smooth and shiny. Take some skin color and roll it into two small yellow spheres. Roll each sphere on both sides to make pointy ends. Pick it up and flatten it slightly with your fingertips. Curve the pointy ends to one side to make a moon shape. Once you have your 2 crescent moons, place them on the front of the gorilla's feet and wrap them around to make the skin for the feet. They will look like shoes now, but we will add toes later. Add more skin color if necessary so that the feet are complete with heels in the back. Now it's time for the toes. Make 2 small spheres for the 2 big toes and smaller spheres for the rest of the toes. Each toe is smaller than the one before until you get to the pinky. Turn the spheres into teardrop shapes by rolling each sphere on the side. Attach them to the front bottom part of the foot. The big toe goes on the inside and then the other toes side by side in descending size. Just like human feet, we can start to see how gorillas are similar to humans. This gorilla's feet kind of look like my uncle's feet. To make the hands, roll 2 small pieces of the skin color into spheres again. This time flatten them into disc shapes. Place them on the upper side of the arm, wrapping it around to make the base of the hand. Take some time to shape them until they are smooth and symmetric. We will add the fingers later. Now let's make the chest and belly. Take a medium piece of skin color and roll it into a sphere. Then into an egg shape and flatten it slightly as you shape it into the shape and size of the gorilla's underbelly. Stick it to the belly, wide end up top and narrow on the bottom. Make 2 small spheres to make the pecs. Flatten them into discs and then into rectangles with rounded edges. Place them on top of the upper part of the chest, long side up, and flatten them a little bit up against each other. Place a small dot of clay on the middle of each pec to make the nipples, a little off-center toward the bottom of the square. To make the abs, make 6 very small spheres and roll them into ovals. Place them horizontally on the belly, 2 rows of 3 ovals to make a 6-pack. Make 10 very small spheres and roll them into ovals. These will be the fingers. Place them on the hand side by side and blend the clay with your fingers to fade the division between the back of the hand and the fingers. Place the index, middle, ring, and pinky fingers in front, pointing forward, and the thumb on the inside of the hand, slightly pointing in at an angle next to the index finger. Add dark brown clay wherever you need to make the body more proportional. Here we are shaping the crown of the head to make it a little larger. Now we will add the gorilla's face. Start with a small sphere of the skin color, flatten it into a disc and then into a flat rectangle as you did before, but this time a little bigger. Also squeeze the sides of the face in like an hourglass shape to give the effect of the forehead, temples, and cheekbones. Now you may place the mouth and nose included in your ClayWorld clay kit. Place it at the bottom of the face, making sure it sticks well. Next, place the eyes right above the nose. Adjust the eyes and mouth so that the forehead, eyes, and mouth are evenly distributed on the face. Line the temples and forehead with a strip of skin color. Make the strip pointy on both ends and stick it to the upper edge of the face to make the bone protrusions. Continue to make the crown into a conical shape. Start making a small dark brown sphere. Pinch the edges between your fingertips, pushing the center upwards with your thumbs and the edges down with your index finger. Continue this all around the edges until you have a cone rounded on the top and with a concave base so it fits the crown of the head. Next, make the hairline by rolling a short thin strip of the fur color and place adjacent to the forehead bone. Blend the conical crown of the head with the hairline by rubbing the divisions with your fingertips to make a smooth, continuous surface throughout the head. Make the sides of the head a little thicker by adding fur color clay shaped like small ovals against the brown side of the head. This is where the ears will go. Once again, fade the clay to itself to make it smooth and continuous. To make the ears, make 2 small spheres of skin color and roll them into ovals. Flatten them slightly on one side and completely on the other side. Attach the flatter end of the ears to each side of the head. Next, outline the ears with a very thin strip of clay. Use a toothpick to drill very small ear holes at the base of the ears. Insert the toothpick at an angle toward the back of the head. Add the little flap of the ear with a tiny piece of skin color right in front of the ear hole. Now we will make some of the spiky fur around the gorilla's body. Start by rolling very small spheres of the fur color and roll them on one side to make teardrop shapes. Place them on the crown of the head, one over the other, to make 3 hairs sticking up. Take some black clay and make some more teardrop shapes. Place them on the corners of the forehead, layering one on top of the other to make spiky eyebrows. Make the shoulders broader by adding fur color in small flat discs at the base of the arms and blending the clay together with the fur. Make more spiky hair and add it to the shoulders in 3 layers. The first layer has about 5 hairs. The second and third layer have about 4 hairs each. For the wrists, make a couple of layers of even smaller hairs around the arm, sticking them to the brown fur right before the hand begins. When you are done with the wrists, repeat this process with the ankles. For the back of the gorilla, add hair starting at the shoulder, also making 2 layers. Work your way around the edge of the back until you reach the other shoulder. For the neck, add a row of hair from the base of the neck toward the top of the head. Place the hair pointing down at an angle. One spike points to the left and the other to the right. Keep alternating as you go up toward the head, making 2 layers of neck hair. And that is it! Congratulations! Your wild gorilla is finished. Bake your creation and add it to your collection.